Hello friends, let us start with chapter 3, tissues in action. Look at this picture very carefully. There is some information in this picture. You can see different organs, organ systems, skeletal muscles, skeleton of our body, brain, digestive system, all these things together make the organism. Life begins when a single cell itself divides several times. Now remember that inside the cell there is intelligence. Cell comes to know what to do. It has information in it. It starts dividing and redividing to form a group of cells, and that is called as the tissue. So cells gradually form skin, muscles, bones, nerves, and coordination is there in between all of them. Now skin is for protection, muscles for movement, bones are for support, and nerves for coordination, control of our organs. So it's very difficult to understand. It's so complicated that scientists are still studying it and not have completely understood. So people just join their hands to the divine power and say that this is divine creation because it is beyond human understanding. We are understanding only bits and parts of it. So that's nature's greatest engineering marvel. So people say that nature is the creator of this life and it has done the engineering of this life, which is a great thing which we can't understand beyond human thinking. We can't think of it, we can't comprehend. Now researchers have been trying to understand, replicate and modify this. People have tried to do it in laboratory inside the test tube. You might have heard about test tube babies. So they are first, the male and female cells, they come together in the test tube and then they grow inside the mother's womb. So to do so, essential to understand natural biological processes. So let us try to understand this. So earlier we saw the cell, which is the building block of life. Cell is the place where all the things in the body occur. It's a structural and functional unit of life. Many cells come together which have similar structure, function, and that is called as the tissue. Many tissues come together to form organs. Many organs come together to form organ systems, and then we have the organism. Now, a tissue is a group of cells that works together to perform specific function. Formation of different types of tissues there that leads to division of labor. Division of labor. So you have a big task to do. What do? You delegate it. You separate it. Give it to different people so that the work is done quickly, efficiently. Okay? So you separate the work. That is called division of labor. So body as a system is very complex. It has different organs to do the work. For example, my eyes are looking at you. They have the work of looking things, vision. My mouth has teeth and tongue which does the work of chewing the food, tasting the food. This is called division of labor. So tissues have specific function and they divide the work that is done for the organism. Now it's very complex. For example, an animal, muscle tissue enables movement and nervous tissue carries messages. In plants, xylem transports water and minerals while phloem transfers food. So why are plants and animal tissues different? Very simple. Plants and animals have basic differences. Plants don't move from one place to another like we animals do. So they have a different type of system. So the building block of life, you compare plants and animal cells. Now plants, they don't move from one place to another. They need support. They remain in one place. They need to be upright. They need to be strong. So they have cell wall which is rigid, which gives them strength. Now animals can move. With a rigid cell wall, animals will not be able to move freely. That's why it's flexible. So cellular flexibility eventually helps the body suitable for locomotion. Animal need to move from one place to another. That's why it is important for having a flexible cell structure. Another major difference between plants and animals is their mode of nutrition. What do they eat? What fuel they use for production of energy, that is different. Plants have different modes of nutrition. They prepare their own food. Animals are dependent on plants for food. Animals have tissue that help them digest food obtained from other sources like plants. Plants can prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Plants and animals have distinct tissues for transporting food and water. The growth patterns in plants and animals also vary. Now we are going to study that in detail now. Now tissues for growth in plants. Observe the picture here. Last time in last chapter we had seen the growth of roots of onion plant. So you can see here. So what is happening? Plants grow in different way. So what is different here? So they have roots, they grow in the soil, and they have shoot which grows upwards away from the soil. Now the increase in length is there, height of the stem and depth of the root. Increase in girth is there. Girth means thickness of the stem, how thick the stem is. Regrowth after cutting the branches or grazing by animals, that is very important. So they have different type of tissue. Now we are going to study in detail which type of tissue they have. First is the apical meristem. So how do plants grow in length? So let's study about it. So take this, they have shown us the experimental setup. Take 2 glass jars, then we have onion. Take 2 onion bulbs, observe the growth, measure the length 1 to 3 days. On 3rd day, cut the root tip of jar B by 1 centimeter. After this, observe the growth of roots and measure the lengths. So you can make experimental data with the help of this table, and you can draw a graph also. Observe the graph, how it looks. See what has happened. Very interesting. This graph tells you a lot of information. So on x-axis we have the days, on y-axis is the length. Now you can see the blue line, that is jar A, that is growing linearly in a straight line. It is going up. Look at jar B, what happened. On the 4th day, suddenly the growth has stopped and it has remained the same. What does this tell you? So on the 4th day, you can see the growth has dropped. That is because you see what has done. On the 3rd day, we have cut the tips. So on 4th day, no growth is there. That means the growth was at the tip of the plant. Remember, tip of the root, tip of the stem, both. These tips have special type of tissues. They are called as apical meristematic tissue. Okay. Now, you may recall observing mitosis. So this confirms the observation. This mitosis is happening at the tip of the root. Very quickly, actively dividing cells are there. Similarly, shoot also has this. They are called as apical meristem. Now we have lateral meristem. So have you understood this? Apical meristem is at the tip of the root and shoot, both stem and root, both. Plants have growth zones at the tip of the root and shoot. These are called as apical meristems, which helps in growth of the length of the plant. Now lateral meristem. Lateral you can understand. Lateral is the girth, thickness of the stem. So look at the surrounding. You can observe dicot plants, dicotyledon and monocotyledon. 2 types of plants are there. So one seed can be divided into 2 parts, that is dicot. If the seed cannot be divided into 2 parts, that is called as monocot. For example, jawar is monocot and peanut is dicot. Mango is dicot. So what is the cause of increase in the girth? One explanation is the activity of meristematic tissue. So if you cut the wood laterally, you can see some lines on it. So these lines represent the growth years, because in a year there is rainy season, winter season and summer season. So during rainy season, plant growth is fast. That's why we have a growth ring there. 1 ring is equal to 1 year. So like that you can find the age of the tree. So if you have visited timber yard and observed the cut trunk of the tip, you might have seen different rings. So these are annual growth rings. Some are wide, some are narrow. So this tells you about the particular season in a year. So how this growth of the plant has occurred, how the growth of meristematic tissue has occurred. The increase in girth occurs due to presence of actively dividing cells which are in the ring in the system, that is in the stem. Concentric manner they are arranged inside to outside, and that is called as lateral meristem. So number 1, apical meristem, that is at the tip. Number 2, lateral meristem, that is inside the rings of the stem. Then we have intercalary. The name itself tells intercalary, in between. So we have learnt about meristematic tissues. Now that is at the tip, but the plant keeps on growing. Even the stem keeps on growing. That is because the growth is at a particular place inside the stem, that is intercalary meristem. The stem stops growing in length, but new branches are formed and intercalary meristem is responsible for it. So node is a point of plant where stem form branches and leaves arise. So node is a part of the plant. The part between the two nodes is called internode. You might have observed it. And more branches appear, again giving the hedge and bushy appearance. So grass also appears after some time moved. So this happens because of the intercalary meristem at the nodes of the stem. So there are certain regions in the stem where growth occurs. They are called as nodes. And in between two nodes there is internode. So plants have three types of tissue: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Apical meristem located at the tip of root and shoot, that leads to length, growth in length. Lateral is in circumference, girth of the plant increases, and intercalary is in between the stems, that is between the nodes where new branches and leaves arise. Okay. Now cells of meristematic tissues are small, they are thin walled, they are rapidly growing. Okay, and they can divide very quickly. Vacuoles are generally absent, they are tightly packed. So they might ask you, what are the characters of these meristematic tissue, meristematic cells? You can write this. These characteristics of meristematic tissue allow them continuous rapid cell growth, very fast. So due to continuous cell growth or cell division, meristematic tissue add new cells very quickly. They, after some time, newly formed cells lose their ability to divide. They become permanent cells. Now these cells become specialized. They perform functions like transport, support, and storage. This process by which meristematic tissue becomes specialized is called as differentiation. So earlier they were just growing, and then they started doing special work, like all are students in a class. Then somebody becomes an engineer, somebody a doctor, somebody a teacher, somebody a pilot. So that is specialization afterwards. Earlier everybody is sitting in the same class. Now permanent tissue, let us try to understand. If we take the transverse section, TS, okay, one is LS, lateral section, one is TS, transverse section. So if we cut the leaf in these things, you can see inside. So internal structure of TS of sunflower stem have seen under microscope. What do you observe? So different types of cells are there. You can see the cells here. They have shown us very nicely colored cells. So this color is because of the stains. Cells don't have color. We color them to understand what is the structure. Inside the microscope we can observe them clearly. So outer part you can see cuticle, that is the covering. Epidermis is there, one layer below it. Then we have the collenchyma, parenchyma, sclerenchyma. Names are new for you. Collenchyma, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, phloem, and xylem. Then we have lateral meristem and ground tissue. So you can see these different parts. So protective tissue. So first of all is epidermis, that is the outermost part. You can see it here, I showed you. Then it protects the plant. Rectangular cells are there. Then we have cuticle, waxy layer, which protects again. Covered thick cuticle prevents the loss of water. But stomata are the openings in the tissues. You can see parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. These are the different types of cells. Okay. Cuticle also provides protection against mechanical injury and invasion by parasites. In many plants, hair-like projections are there. In roots, these projections are called root hair, which increases the surface area. It absorbs the moisture, the water from the soil. Then we have stomata, which is helping the gaseous exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Remember, during photosynthesis, what is happening? Oxygen is produced, that goes out. And during respiration, plants also respire. They take in carbon dioxide and they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Both is happening. During photosynthesis, oxygen is given out. During respiration, carbon dioxide is given. In plant, both are happening, remember. Now, transpiration helps the water transport. Remember, xylem carries water, phloem carries food. Xylem carries water, phloem carries food. Remember this, very, very important. Now we have different types of cells which support. Let's try to understand one by one their structure, their function. First is parenchyma. Look at the picture, parenchyma. Here they have shown green cells. Then we have collenchyma. Then we have sclerenchyma. So what are parenchyma? These are living cells, so that's why they are green. So loosely packed, they store food, they perform photosynthesis. As they are green color, they have chlorophyll. So they have space in between, so they can help the plant in floating. Then we have collenchyma. You can see the red color here. Collenchyma. Remember, the color is not there for any cell. We have colored it for understanding, that is with the help of stains. Now, collenchyma consists of living cells with unevenly divided, thickened corners, unevenly. It's not even. Due to pectin, which is a chemical that gives flexibility, like rubber, then deposition of some other substances which make it very strong, gives flexibility, and then it helps to bend the tendrils without breaking. Then we have sclerenchyma. So they are thick walled, they have lignin deposition, they're very strong, they give the strength. So where are they? They are present in the seeds covering. Then we have coconut husk and walnut shells. Now conducting tissue, you can see this here. Xylem carries water, phloem carries food. See xylem now. So xylem fibers are there. They are looking like pipes. Actually they are like pipes. They absorb the water, they transfer the water. So how does water from down goes up? So we are going to study it about. So plants have special cells, xylem and phloem. So they work together to transport water and minerals and food. So xylem is the tissue that transport water and minerals to the roots of the parts of plants. Xylem has tracheic vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. These are the different types of cells inside xylem. Xylem parenchyma are living things. The tracheic vessels and xylem fibers are dead. So phloem is made up of living cells. So it consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem. They have their own different types of functions in this system. So they have sieve tubes transfer food from one part to the other. Companion cells are there, they're regulated. Companion cells are specialized parenchyma. Main function is to monitor loading and unloading of sugar. That is done here. Then so far we have studied the different types of plant tissues. Now plant tissue organized into 3 different tissue system. Now you can see the parts of the plant, the roots. If you cut it, what it looks like. If you cut the stem, what it looks like. If you cut the leaf, what it looks like. Please observe. Different names are also given. I have explained what are the functions and the names also. Please see this. This diagram is important. Now the tissue system. First is dermal. Dermal means outside. It is telling us the cover. So it forms a protective layer and it protects the inner parts and reduces the water loss. Then we have ground tissue system, main body, conducting system, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Vascular system, xylem and phloem. Vascular is transport system. Xylem carries water, phloem carries food. Okay. Now let's start with animal tissue. So like plants, animals also have different types of tissue and they are doing activities. Now you can see the activity of blinking your eyes quickly. So tissues are working here. Clench your fist and open it. Again tissues are working here. Take a deep breath. Muscles and tissues are working here. There are sensors in our body. Warm sensors. If we touch a warm object, there are sensors which can sense heat. Now, which tissue enables and all, they have asked us what is happening in our body. So many questions come to our mind. Which tissue allows the oxygen to enter? Which tissue holds the body together? The skin doesn't fall. All these things. So that is all our body system and tissue system. So first is epithelial tissue, structure and function. Epithelial, again the outside covering. Epithelial is the outside, that is outer covering of our body. It protects the internal organs also. Every organ has an outer layer covering. Closely packed cells, there is little space in between them. They do not allow the germs to come inside. They reduce the water loss. They help in absorption, secretion, and movement of substance. So there are again types of epithelial cells. We are trying to understand that cells now. So see, characteristic of functionally and structurally different epithelial cells. Function is to exchange. Structure is single layer like thin flat cells, and location is in blood vessels, lungs. Then protection is against the mechanical injury, friction. And then structure is tightly packed flat cells. Where are they present? In the skin, mouth, esophagus. Then secretory substance, they are secreting hormones, enzymes. These are chemicals, proteins, special proteins. They have special work. So what do? They have special things. They have cuboidal cells, and where are they present? Salivary glands, saliva is secreted, sweat glands, stomach glands, and all. Sensory, we smell, we taste, the sound in our ears, all are because of these type of cells. They have cilia, which have sensors, nostrils, taste buds, and inner ear. Absorption, that is done by these type of cells where nutrient uptake is taken, water. They have pillar like cells, hair like projections are there, lining of the small intestine. So how are various parts connected to the body? You can see connective tissue. Okay, remember the word connective tissue. Epithelial cells, epithelial tissue. Then we have connective tissue, number 2. So we know that hormones are there, bones are there, support system is there, muscles are there. So they are all connected with the connective tissue. Blood is a connective tissue, remember. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. So both blood and bones, they are connective tissues. Both are connective tissues. They differ in composition and so we are going to study them in detail now. So difference is due to matrix, which is watery, soft, jelly-like. Blood is water-like, lot of water is there, and bones are hard, solid, and very rigid. So let us understand further. So recall everyday experiences and write your observations, compare. So when you get a small cut on your skin, when you get a skin infection, and when you exercise or run, so what happens? What is your observation? That is written in the second column. So when a small cut is there, blood comes out of it and clot is formed. So it stops after some time. So why does blood clot? So it has special functions. If the blood keeps on coming out, we'll die. All the blood will go out. So there are special cells which stop the blood from going out. That is blood clotting take place. Infections. So there are cells which can kill the infectious bacteria, virus, whatever is there. Stop the infection. There are different types of cell in our body. WBC to be precise. So in everyday experiences, we have different types of cell. RBC is there, WBC is there, red blood corpuscles. They are also called red blood cells. And you know that they have a life of 120 days. Platelet helps in blood clotting. During exercise, more oxygen is required. That is done by hemoglobin. Then WBC stops the infections, kills the bacteria, viruses. So it collects in the infected area, causes pus, inflammation, causes redness, swelling, and clears the infected area. You can see tendon, cartilage, and ligaments. Observe, this is very important. Tendon, cartilage, and ligament. Observe very carefully. So 55% of the total volume of the blood is plasma, 45% is the elements which are platelets, RBC and all, WBC and all. These are down, 45% of the total volume components of the blood. So remember this. We have different types of bones also. See the bones. The thigh bone is the longest one. Okay, long bone, that is the thigh bone. That is called as femur. We have collarbone, we have kneecap, and different types of bones. So they have told us some activity, functions of other connective tissue with different actions. They have shown us action. Touch your elbow gently. So you can experience a hard, rigid structure. So bones are there which support our body. Then press and fold your ear. The connective tissue is there, soft. That is cartilage. Your nose also has cartilage. Then touch your forearm, wriggle your fingers and all. Tendons are there which connect muscles to bone and then bring about the movement. Muscles are connected to the bone with the help of tendons. And ligaments connect two bones. Remember, this is important. People ask, What is the difference between tendon and ligaments? Remember the difference. Tendons connect muscles and ligament connect bones. Remember. So they have told us activity. You sit on a chair and move your leg towards the knee and all. So bones are connected. So bones have rigid matrix. They contain calcium and phosphorus compounds. They are very rigid. Okay. And in contrast, cartilage has soft jelly-like matrix which provide flexibility. So bones are strong and cartilage is soft. Other connective tissue are tendons and ligaments. Tendons connect muscles to bone. Ligaments connect bones to bone. Okay, remember this. We'll stop here. We'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.